Hello and welcome to the Southeast Iowa Union News Break. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. On today's show, students in Mount Pleasant pitched their idea for a new auditorium, and a new date is set for the opening of the QuickVisit Urgent Care in Washington. But first, a group of teachers, activists, and local officials pitched their plans for a community garden to the Washington City Council last week. Members said the effort would have myriad benefits for the residents. Specifics of the plan are still being ironed out. Group member Carrie Willis said the range was anywhere from 10 to 30 trees for an orchard and 10 to 30 plots for a garden. At the very least, Willis said the project would bring nutritious food to the community. The bigger picture, however, is much more ambitious. Willis was recognized by the World Food Prize Foundation in 2021 for her vision to link food security with a web of community activities, education efforts, and organizations. She said the community garden would be a first step of that broader concept map, which would involve and impact a greater number of people. The education aspect of that plan is on the mind of group member and Washington High School environmental science teacher Lydia Davis. Davis said she hoped to use the community garden for classroom and extracurricular programming that would teach students about the food growing process. The proposed site on Boot Hill between Washington High School and the Woodlawn Cemetery at the west end of Van Buren Street is owned by the city. Group members said it was already hooked up to the water line for easy installation of a spigot and offered educational benefits thanks to the school's proximity. Armed with a PowerPoint presentation, Brighton Weir, Eva Rounsville, and Cameron Hart presented their CLL, which stands for Communication, Employability, Life Skills, and Leadership class project ideas for an auditorium replacement to the school board on Monday. Weir walked the board through an agenda for their presentation consisting of current problems with the auditorium, current details, updates on the Heated Later auditorium, a considered idea, and their official idea for auditorium replacement. According to Rounsville, the Heated Later auditorium has 350 seats, one prop room, 2 dressing rooms, 2 wing areas, and 1 lounge downstairs. All this cost $150 per day with a $150 deposit. Weir expressed concerns for the space. Without much fly space, it is difficult to attach props overhead, small wings are difficult to fit crew and props into, and there is no room for an orchestra pit. The students recommended building a new auditorium in an open space near the school. According to Weir, benefits of a new auditorium would include expanded and better quality seating, an updated facility, and more access for the community to utilize the space. The group even provided the board a rough blueprint of the proposed facility using Minecraft. The group ran numbers for their 700-seat auditorium project and presented the board with a total cost of just over $15 million. Hart suggested part of the funding would come from grants and fundraising. Hart commented that while the solution would take time, their group felt it was worth the wait. When addressing concerns about community and school district support, they said, "We went around asking people if they thought an auditorium was a good idea, and we have received nothing but support for our project." Representatives for a QuickVisit Urgent Care facility in Washington said the building will open on March 3rd rather than the initially planned mid-January date given to municipal officials in August when the company saw a fast-tracked planning and zoning process. Stokesbury said there would be an open house at the building the day before its grand opening where community members could tour the location and meet its staff. The list of services available at the QuickVisit is long. According to Stokesbury, the menu includes COVID-19 tests, x-rays, stitches, lab work, and even primary care in the relatively small building at the eastern edge of city limits. We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the weather and sports.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Welcome back to Newsbreak. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. We have your 5-day forecast coming up. First, obituaries. Kurt Andrew Drager of Farmington passed away on January 23rd at the age of 71. Schmidt's Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Sherilyn Borders of Mount Pleasant passed away on January 23rd at the age of 69. A funeral service will be held at 10:30 a.m. on January 27th at the First United Methodist Church. Kimsey Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Stephen Mark Fordham of Washington passed away on January 23rd at the age of 67. A celebration of life will be held at 3 p.m. January 28th at the Jones and Eden Funeral Home. Charles F. Myers of Kansas City passed away on January 20th at the age of 80. Memorial service will be held at 11 a.m. February 4th at North Cross Methodist Church in Kansas City. Those obituaries. It is now time for the weather. We start off the day with cloudy skies, but has since cleared off. It's been a cold one with a high of just 21 degrees. Tomorrow there's a 40% chance of snow in the morning, but the temperatures will rise to 37 degrees in the afternoon. Looking at the weekend on Saturday, there's a 60% chance of snow and the high will be 26. We'll get a well-needed break from the snow on Sunday, but temperatures will drop down to 18 degrees. And finally on Monday, it will be mostly cloudy with a high of 13. We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the matchup between Waco and Highland. Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
You know, it's not a question of what all you have and so on with your life. It's who is in your life and how much you care for them and how much they care for you. And Tammy definitely cares.
Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross, Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656.
I met Tammy about 20 years ago when her daughter was in Special Olympics and I was coaching. Told me that she was into doing senior benefits. We became even closer friends. She cares about everybody, especially the seniors. So call her.
Welcome back to Newsbreak. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. It is now time for sports.
Sports, brought to you by Fairway.
A pair of Southeast Iowa Super Conference North Division squads met up in Wayland on Tuesday night as Waco hosted Highland in a boy-girl basketball doubleheader. The Waco girls used a flurry of offensive rebounds to knock off the Huskies 60-25. The Warriors piled up the points on putback attempts and soon turned what was a 4-point game in the second quarter to a 26-11 halftime lead. Waco had a balanced scoring attack led by Ella Kissel 17 points. Emma Wagler scored 14, including a pair of made three-pointers. Grace Coble had 12. Katie Lichty finished with 10. It was time for the Waco boys to show what they've got in the nightcap, and the undefeated Warriors got it done against a very young Highland squad, 59-11. The Waco boys burst out of the locker room with a 21-3 first quarter, which included a thunderous dunk by Simeon Reichenbach. Highland was able to slow down the Waco attack more in the next three quarters, but the Warriors defense stayed sharp all night. Waco led 35-3 at halftime and 49-5 after 3 quarters. Waco's Hunter Hughes and Colton Lichty led their team with 12 points apiece in the win. Cody Graber scored 10. That's the news for Southeast Iowa. I've been your host, Nick Steffens. This has been your news break.